Guys, what if I told you that you can actually set up a SaaS as simple as setting up a blog? I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in this video. And to prove that it's not just a theory, I have built out an entire SaaS with this particular approach that I'm going to tell you in this video. Let me show you what I mean. So this is a website, this is a SaaS that I have built out completely using the approach that I'm going to show you in this particular video. So this website has a lot of tools that you can actually use, and if I just log into this particular website, as you can see, this website is completely based out of the credit system. So in this video, I'll be actually showing you the complete process of using WordPress in order to set up the SaaS. Don't think that WordPress is a very old thing. Why do we have to use it now? I'll tell you some of the very cool advantages that WordPress has, and then we'll go ahead and directly set up the entire SaaS website using the WordPress. So the first advantage of using WordPress is that it is way secure. Like the default WordPress comes with lot of security measures that are taken in order to avoid the security attacks. And the other main important thing is the speed of development. As you're not completely going to build this from scratch, this is going to help you with lot of your development time. It is going to reduce lot of your development time. And the other advantage of using WordPress is its massive plugin ecosystem. Like let's say if you want to integrate payments to your SaaS, you don't have to write another component or other structure. So it has a plugin that you can actually use in order to implement the payments or in order to collect payments on your website. So there are lot of advantages of using WordPress. So in this video, what I'll be showing you is how we can actually leverage WordPress in order to set up a SaaS based out of the credit system that I have shown you. So what we'll be doing in this particular video is we'll be going ahead and building this particular tool, which is a blog title generator. So the whole point of this video is not to show you how to go ahead and write code and do all the stuff. The whole point of this video is to show you how to exactly use WordPress in order to set up a SaaS or build a SaaS. So what I want you to get out of this video is with the complete structure or the complete idea of how to use the WordPress in order to set up the SaaS. So if this sounds interesting, let's get started with the video. So the first thing that we have to do is obviously we need to have a WordPress website hosted. So if you want to test out the WordPress website, there is a website called local which you can actually use to create the local environment. So it is going to look similar to this. You just have to click on and create a new website, and then this site is going to be loaded. But remember, this is only the local website which is hosted on your own computer. But if you want to go ahead with the hosting providers, the one that I'm actually using is called Hostinger. So I'll leave a link to the Hostinger. You can actually use that in order to get a 20% discount from the hosting plan that you have chosen. So I'll try to just create a WordPress website from scratch. So I'll just try to set up the credentials, and I'll try to click on next. I'll choose a default theme, or I'll do it from scratch. I'll just click on create blank site, and I'll try to maybe use a temporary domain. As of now, I don't have a domain, so I'll just try to use a temporary domain. So now it's actually installing WordPress. It is automatically done. Once this is done, you can directly go ahead and log into your admin dashboard of WordPress. I'll show you once this is completely done. So now we are in our WordPress like the WordPress dashboard, or what you call admin panel. Now what we have to do is we just need 3 plugins here. So so the 3 plugins are going to be, so the first plugin that we are going to install, so I'll just go ahead and install all the required plugins. So just go to plugins and click on add a new plugin and type in WP code. So just type in WP code. You'll find just a second. So you'll find this particular plugin. Just try to install this plugin and activate the plugin. And the other plugin that we need here is going to be a plugin called MyCred. So this is the plugin that we'll be using in order to use the credit system or the point management system. So this has a lot of predefined functions that we can actually use. So once we actually go through this particular approach or the flow, I'll show you how to use this particular plugin. I'll just activate this plugin as well. So the next plugin that we have to install is called WooCommerce. This is actually used in order to collect the payments, in order to recharge the points or whatever you call. So the plugins that we required are completely installed. We just only need these 3 plugins. So what we will be doing is, so I'll just try to tell you the approach that we would be following, and then I'll show you the practical implementation. Don't worry if you don't understand the the theory that I'm telling you now. Once we go ahead and implement it practically, you'll understand. So the flow that we are going to do is we'll be creating the front end of our tool using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. We'll do that in the pages. So we have we have different pages. We can create different pages on WordPress, right? So we'll be creating our front end of the tool on this particular page using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Don't worry if you don't know how to code. Even I don't know. So we'll be taking help of AI in order to go do that. And the next thing that we'll be doing is, so in order to connect this front end to the back end, we need to handle that particular front end, right? So for that, we'll be writing the PHP code in this particular plugin. Like we'll be adding snippets here. So if you just try to click on add new here, so I mean the functionality of this plugin is you can actually insert some snippets into the website. So that's the whole point of this plugin. So you can try to add a custom snippet and try to choose it as a PHP snippet. So here we'll be writing a PHP code to actually connect with that particular front end, and the whole logic part is actually implemented or taken care within the n8n. So here the flow is going to be, let's say if the user enters input, or let's say in our case we'll be building the block title generator, right? So in our case, if the user enters the topic, so the user is going to be entering topic in the front end, and we'll be actually capturing it in with the help of the PHP code, and we'll be sending it to the n8n using this particular PHP code, and we'll be reading the response and showing it to the user. So this is the flow. If you don't understand the flow, don't worry. Once we start implementing it practically, you'll understand it way better. So we'll start with creating the front end for our tool, which is I'll just try to click on create a new page, and then I'll try to just name our page. Okay, this is just the initial setup that you'll be seeing when you install the WordPress. So I'll just go with AI blog title generator. So now this is, I'll just publish the page. So if I just go ahead and view the page, it is going to look something similar to this. I mean, if you are new to WordPress and not sure what's happening, I'd suggest you to check a beginner tutorial on what is WordPress and how to create pages and do all the stuff. And I mean, if I try to cover all of that in this particular video, this is going to be very long. This is going to turn out to be a very long one. So what I'll do is I'll just try to go with our approach of building the SaaS website. So now here, if you just click on this plus icon, just search for HTML, you'll have an option to add custom HTML. So here you'd be adding the front end code that we'll be using for the SaaS or for the tool. So what we'll be doing is we'll be generating the code with any of the AI tool that we have. Like I'll be going with the Perplexity. Whatever the tool that you want to go with, you can go ahead and completely do it yourselves. So what we'll be doing is I'll be asking it to create the front end code for the tool that we have thought of. I'll just write the prompt and I'll tell you what I actually wrote. So this is the prompt that I have come up with. So I just asked it to create the HTML, CSS and JavaScript code for the AI blog title generator, where the input is going to be the topic of the blog which the user is going to be entering, and I want you to read the topic and then make an ajax call. So the ajax call here is going to be something like if you want to send that particular topic to the PHP code that we have thought of before. So this process is called, like sending it from front end to the PHP code is called ajax call, and that's what I mentioned there. And I want the entire front end code in the single HTML file. So the next thing is we need to create the PHP as well. So the PHP code is going to be taking that particular input and it is going to be sending that particular input to the webhook, and then we will be getting the response of the webhook and showing it to the user. As of now, I just asked it to show the exact raw response to the user, so that like later we'll try to parse the JSON response and try to make the UI look better. So I'll now just try to send the prompt and let's see what we're gonna get with the code. Okay, so now we have the codes. We'll just go ahead and copy paste them. So I'll just go to this particular page and I'll just try to update this. And okay, now we have this particular like the basic UI. So we'll now try to do the same with the PHP code as well. So this is the PHP code. What I'll do is I'll just try to paste this PHP code here. I'll try to maybe name it as blog, and I'll just save the snippet and I'll activate it. So now we have the snippets ready. So what we have to now do here is going to be, we have to update the webhook URL. So you will find an option somewhere in the PHP code. So yeah, we have to update our webhook URL here. So now I'm actually in a new scenario on n8n, and I'll just try to uh, click on I'll just try to add the trigger as the webhook, and I'll try to set the response node using the webhook response, and I'll just try to add this particular respond to webhook node. So like this is, I mean, this is just to test out whether this is working or not. So I'll just copy the URL, I'll execute the flow here, and I'll just try to update the webhook URL here. And once I update the URL, make sure you are updating the code snippet as well. And once you have updated that, I'll just try to give the topic here, let's say maybe AI with marketing, and I'll click on generate titles. Now this should trigger the webhook, but as you can see it did not trigger. Let's find out what's the problem here. Failed to connect to AI service, which is maybe, I guess, is going to be, yeah. So we are actually getting this particular thing. I'll just try to change the request to post, just a second, and let me test it out again. So I'll just try to click on generate titles, and yeah, now we got this particular webhook triggered, and I guess, yeah, we now have the exact raw response that we would be actually seeing here. So if you just go here to JSON, you'll find this exact thing here. So that's the same thing that we are getting, which is what we have requested for. And now what we have to do is we just have to set up the flow here in the n8n, and then we have to actually try to parse the overall output in order to match the we just have to parse this in order to show this output to the user in a more cleaner way. So what we'll be doing is, as you can see here, we'll be getting the topic in the body as the webhook parameter. So I'll just try to add a very simple node. With a single node, we'll just complete it to understand, like, to help you understand this. So I'll just message a model. I'll choose a GPT-4o mini. I'll just try to choose the GPT-4o mini. So, and I'll just try to prompt it like a very basic prompt: create 5 blog titles for the topic. So the topic, we are gonna get it from the webhook, so I'm just gonna add it here. So the output has to be in the following JSON text, not the. So I'll just I'll just tell you once I complete this. Not the code snippet. So what I want this, like, the reason I am actually adding this is because as we have to parse the JSON response that we are getting. So if we get the consistent JSON response, we will be able to parse it very easily. So if we get different JSON responses each time we run this particular node, then that's going to be a problem. Like, our PHP code and the front end code is not able to dynamically adapt to the JSON, right? We'll be trying to match the JSON to, like, it has to generate this particular JSON structure consistently. So I'll just try to add a basic structure here. Okay, so I'll just try to paste this particular JSON here. So every time, whatever only the things that are going to be changed are going to be these titles, so that structure won't be changed. So if we try to exactly parse this particular structure, we'll be able to show the user the exact titles. So that's the reason I have actually added this particular thing. So we'll do so the next thing that we have to do is I'll just try to okay. So now the thing that we have to update here is going to be, like, what's the exact thing that we'll be sending from n8n to the PHP code, like the as the webhook response. I'll just try to execute this node once. So once we have executed it, so here I'll just try to choose the JSON, and I'll just try to remove all of this, and I'll add the content, and I'll try to execute the steps. So now, yeah, this is going to be the response that we are gonna get in the like we'll be getting in the PHP. So I'll try to execute this flow once again. So I'll just try to AI with marketing, and I'll just click on generate titles. Now as you can see, now the flow got triggered, and we should now see the results in the like the UI. So as you can see, we now have the exact JSON structure that we requested for. So now we'll do one thing. So what we just have to do is, I'll just try to copy this, and I'll go back to the Perplexity, and I'll just try to ask it to parse this particular JSON structure and create the better UI. So what I've done was, I've just asked it to like parse the below given JSON and try to show just the block titles, and I asked it to rewrite the front end and back end code and give it to me. So I'll just try to send this prompt, and we'll just wait for the code, and once we try to update that particular code, we'll now be able to see only the titles in a more beautiful way, or a more like a user friendly way, I would say. So yeah, once we have the code, I'll come back again. Okay, so now we have the updated code. I'll just try to update the code in our WordPress. So I'll just click on save, and I'll just copy the PHP code as well. So I'll just copy the PHP code, and I'll go back here, and I'll try to update the code. So again, I just have to update the webhook URL here. So yeah, I'll just try to update the webhook URL, and I'll just try to update this particular snippet with the after updating the URL, and I'll try to refresh this, and I'll execute the flow. Let's just try it out whether it's gonna work now or not. AI with marketing, and I'll just click on generate titles. Yeah, we now have the flow, like the flow got triggered, and we should now see the titles. Perfect. As you can see, now we have the titles that are parsed perfectly, and each title is being shown individually, and like this copy functionality and all of the, like, the front end things, if you want, you can just try to prompt the AI, and what are the things that you want, you can just bring them up. And coming to the logic part, whatever the logic that you want to implement can be implemented here, and make sure you are sending the perfect JSON response as the webhook response. So that's it with the flow of the tool. And now we'll go with the implementation of the credit system. And before implementing the credit system, we'll just set up the mycred plugin, which is required before getting into it. So here we just have to go ahead to point types, and like if you want to change the labels and all of those things, you can do that here. And what I'm going to do is, I'll just go to points, and I'll go to hooks. Here, let's say if you want to actually give out some free credits on registrations, you can add this out here. And let's say if you want to give out 10 registration points for free, you can go ahead and add that here. And what I'm going to do is, I'll be going ahead with the WooCommerce setup here. So I'll be going with products, and I'll be adding a new product here. So products, add a new product. The product that we are gonna the product that we are gonna sell here is going to be the credits. So let's say if you want to sell 100 credits, so you'll be going with 100 credits, and whatever the description that you want, you'll be giving all of that, and make it as the virtual product. And you'll be giving out a price. Let's say maybe regular price is 9.99, and the sale price is 5.99. The main important thing that I want you to consider here is, you just have to click on this reward with points, and as we are giving out 100 credits, you just have to add 100 credits. So whenever user purchases this particular product, they will be rewarded with 100 points, and they can use those 100 points in order to use the tools that are there on the website. So that's the idea of selling points on the WordPress. And now we'll directly go ahead and use the mycred plugin. And like whenever the user uses these particular credits, they should be like, let's say 10 credits or 20 credits or 25 credits per tool usage should be reduced. What I'll be doing is I'll be going to users. I'll just try to leave that thing, and I'll try to adjust. As of now, I'll just try to adjust my points to 100. So the updated balance is now 100, right? So what we have to do is we now have to go ahead and update our code snippet, like the PHP code, in order to make sure whenever the response is being shown to the user, these number of points should be deducted. So I'll just go to edit, and I'll just copy this particular PHP code, and I'll be going back to our AI editor, and I'll just search for my cred WordPress documentation. So I'll just search for this and credit. Yeah, this is the thing, and you just have to go ahead and look for the documentation which is over here. And so yeah, this is all the documentation. Just copy the link and go back to your AI tool and give it the link and ask it, and I'll just give out a basic prompt. So I have actually given it the PHP code, and what I'll do is I'll just try to remove the webhook URL, which is gonna mess up our thing. And while I have actually asked it to, like, this is a plugin which is used for the points credit system, and I want 25 credits to be deducted whenever the user uses a tool. I just told it to go ahead and look out for the right function names in the documentation given. So I'll just send out this particular prompt, and after this we'll be having the PHP code which can actually go ahead and like whenever the user uses those like for once, if the user uses it, it's gonna deduct 25 points, and for the next time if the user uses it, and it's gonna deduct another 25 points. So it's actually now writing the code. Let's just go ahead and implement this particular system. So it's still writing it. Let's wait and see. Okay, it completed writing it. So I'll just copy this, and I'll go back to the PHP thing, and I'll just try to update the webhook URL, and I'll just try to show you the structure here. So I have updated the webhook URL. So here if you can see, as you can see, we will be checking with the user ID, and for that particular user ID, if we have any sort of like if the user has the balance, it's gonna deduct it, or else it's gonna tell the user to recharge it, and then after that it's gonna perform the same. So that's how it's going to be. And let's try to run this tool once again. I'll just try to execute the flow, and we'll be using maybe something like AI in digital marketing, and I'll just try to generate the titles, and yeah, it's triggering the flow, and we should now be able to see these particular titles. And I'll just try to refresh the page, and let's go ahead and check with the credits if they have been deducted or not. So as you can see, we now have we now only have 75 credits, which means that 25 credits has been deducted. So that's it. So like, I'll just show you the points history as well. So for the tool AI block title generator, the time and the points that are being deducted. So this is how you can completely set this up. And if you want to know more about the mycred plugin, you can go ahead and go through the documentation of like, if you have any questions, you can just give this particular documentation to the LLM or the AI tool and ask it whatever the questions that you have. So this is how you can like use WordPress in order to set up the in order to run a complete SaaS. So I hope you found this video helpful, and if you are stuck in between, or if you have any questions, or if you want to know more about this particular structure or particular system that I'm using, you can join our free community. I leave a link in the description. You can join the community for free, and yeah, that's it. I hope you found this video helpful, Just give it a like if you find this helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.